So I want to delve into a little bit more of like team management, sales team management.
Yep.
So I'd love to know what is the best way, in your opinion, to manage a high ticket sales team?
With your situation,
Mhm.
Samuel, I know that you're in a little bit of a different situation, right? So I have some advice for you. I'm sorry, it's probably not the advice that you want to hear. Is that okay?
Absolutely, that's what I'm here to learn. And just to give you some insight, so we have two closers and now three setters as well.
Yep. Yep. So the first thing that I would do, right? The setters are new.
One is relatively experienced. The other two, I mean, I hired them on Monday. Today's
I
film.
mean, new to the org, right? Yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So the first thing that I would do, right? Whew, is start off in the setting process yourself, Samuel.
Yeah.
Right? Um, what's the guy's name? Why am I drawing a blank? The founder of Wendy's.
Couldn't tell you.
Hang on, hang on,
I
hang
can
on.
Google it.
That's what I'm doing. Oh, Dave. What's his last name?
Dave
Dave Thomas.
Thomas. There we
Dave
go.
Thomas. There you go. So Dave Thomas, right? Before he started Wendy's, he started off during the Great Depression as a busboy,
Yeah.
right? And he worked every job in a restaurant to understand the foundings of the job, right? And this is the step that so many business owners miss when they scale out a team. They scale out a team because they have 90% of the pieces in place, but they haven't yet worked the piece that they're hiring for to know that it is in fact scalable first, right? So, first thing, dive into the setting process, right? Prove that it can be done because
Yeah.
I guarantee you 100%, you've sold $15,000 packages. You can do it. You run a business, you can do it, right? From there, same thing that we talked about. Build out a process and then teach the process, right? After you do that, and after your setters are getting calls booked for the closers, jump on a couple calls and figure out how they're coming through, right? You can tell the difference between a
Yeah.
good lead and a bad lead, right? Once you're closing some calls, you know that it's scalable, right? And now you pass it off to the closers. You create your process for the closers and pass it off for them, right? As far as managing in the high ticket space, what most managers do, right, is they listen to call reviews and then they give one-on-one coaching that say, I heard the prospect say this, in which case you should say that. But sales is not an if then this scenario, right? The way
Mhm.
that you, Samuel, tell me you don't have the money versus the way Joe Schmo tells me he doesn't have the money, even though you both said you don't have the money, could be said two completely different ways. And it takes a little bit of EQ to recognize that. So if you're teaching sales on an if this, then scenario, it's ineffective. So really, doing one-on-ones and doing call reviews is the lowest leverage point a sales manager can take, and that's the way I see all sales managers running their team in the online coaching arena, right? With my call reviews, I got started in this company that I'm at now, right? I had sales reps that have been selling with this company since '89. I could hardly spell logistics when I got started in the space, let alone know what logistics were, right? I was not going to tell people who've been selling for this company since '89 how to sell it better. It's longer than I've been alive, right? So as far as call reviews were concerned, again, I outsourced my call review to a VA who has my process on how to listen to calls. She gives me the coaching points, and then I go back and tell them, hey, here are your coaching points. Here's where we can do better. But I don't waste my time on that. Instead, what I'm working on is velocity of the sales process, right? And then systemizing the sales process and in logistics in particular, the main thing that I've done is created basically a tracking process on the leads because there's so many different directions that they can go that every day I can run a report and now come in and call the plays from my ivory tower and be like, hey, you get
Yeah.
in touch with this person, you get in touch with that person, right? Um, but that's how management should be done. Management should be focused on three things. It should be focused on recruitment of good salespeople, management of good salespeople, which is their one-on-ones and doing pipeline reviews, and then leverage, creating leverage so that the business owner does not have to.
My name is Samuel Main, and I truly hope that you've got value from today's video. If you have, please do hit like and subscribe down below, and I'll see you in the video tomorrow.